On page 103 of your textbook, you are given several queries to do. Actually, there are 5 of them. And since this is all new to you, I'm going to walk through all 5 of these queries. It says you can do reports on these queries, but you do not have to. I'll open each of your queries so you don't have to build reports for them. However, I do want you to name them so that I can tell what the query is for. The first one is how many pets does each pet walker currently walk. Show the walker's first and last name and the pet count for each walker. Sort the information in ascending order based on the pet walker's last name. So we're going to do an aggregate function, which you've never done before, and I'm going to show you how to sort within your query. So we're going to select Create and Query Design. In here, we need to know the pet and the walker's first and last name. So all we'll need is table pet and table walker. Notice your relationship still exists. The first thing we want is the walker's first and last name. So double click on walker first and last name. The next thing we want is the count of the pets. So we can simply count the pet number. Double click there. But we don't have any place to put count. You're going to select the totals button in the ribbon. Now notice we have a total. Group by means we're going to group by first name, last name, but we want to count the pet number. So in the drop down, select count. When you run the query, you're going to get the count of pets for each of the walkers. Save this query as query walkers. The next query we're going to do is which clients are located in Edmond. You should be able to do this one by yourself, but I'll help you. We want client first name and last name, and then we want to know the city. Remember, now we have a criteria line. So we need to type in the word Edmond. That's going to be our criteria because those are that's the only cities we want to see. Now, it tells us that we only want to see first and last name. So you see in the show line, deselect city. It will still sort it or pull out only Edmond. And there are our clients that are in Edmond. Name this query, Query Edmond. The next query is which clients have 3 or more pets. This is going to require a criteria. Show each client's first and last name and the number of pets he currently has. So we need client and we need pet because we're going to be counting our pets. So we select first name and last name, and we'll need pet number again to count. Again, we need totals and we want to count, but now down in criteria it's going to be greater than or equal to 3 because it said we wanted to know which clients had more or at least 3 pets. So when you run the query, you see that we have count of pet number and we can see which ones have 3 or more pets. So we'll close and save this and we'll call it query count of pets. Number 4, what are the total pet walking charges charged to each client? Show the client's first and last name and the total charges charged to him. Once again, we need the client and the pet tables. So we need client first name and last name, and this time we need to find the quoted price field. Once again, we need the total, but this time we want the sum. There we have the sum of the quoted price, so we know what each. And what this is doing now is this is going in because we've got client lists to client number. we're getting the sum of all of their pets, not just one pet. We're getting the quoted price of every pet that is linked black to the client table. So we'll save this as query prices. Now let's do this. Total prices. Finally, which pets does Bob walk in the early morning? For each pet, show the pet's name, the owner's last name, and the owner's phone number. Now, if we go to table walk, we can see that early morning is number 1. So that's going to be our criteria. In the query design, we need table pet and table walker this time because we need the walker's name. Whoops, I did that twice, so let me remove that. So what we want is the pet's name, double click, the owner's, whoops, we need the client table. We'll go right click and show table and get table client, sorry. Pet's name, owner's last name, and the owner's phone number. Now this time we have a criteria. We need the walker's first name to be Bob. So in the criteria line, type Bob. It automatically puts the double quotes around it. But we don't want that to be shown on our query. So the show line will be blank. And there are Bob's walks. Name this query Bob.